Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are simplifying things down from yesterday. I've been working on this problem for 4 hours today, over 4 hours. So we're just going to continue off where we left off. I don't really have any updates. I do have some ideas what I want to do, but I feel like the first thing I need to do is based on. Let me just get that shut off. Based on one assumption, I think I can simplify everything down. If I make, here's the catch. If I make everything an entity, including lights, then I don't need to separate out the debug geometry and the entity geometry. Yep, we're on part 27. So let me just got the channel. Hello, Ratchet. So my speaker is, something's wrong with my microphone as well, so let me know if I cut out or something. I couldn't really, let's just check everything's good. Okay, yeah. So yeah, my mic's a bit temperamental for some reason. Let's randomize the order and let's get stuck into it. Okay, so while I was sitting there listening to music, the thing that was making me kind of, everything's got so complicated. So the first thing I want to do is remove this category idea. This was a bad idea, I think. The music's a bit loud. Yep, thank you. Yeah, my mic's not very good today for some reason. Yeah, okay, so how about that? Audio levels are good, it looks like. I'll turn it down just a bit. Alright, yeah, let me know if that's good, if you want the music louder or quieter. Yeah, my mic's in it being a bit weird. Okay. Right, so getting back to what I was saying. So what we're going to simplify today is this category idea. We're not going to have these anymore. We're just going to have one big entity thing. So all the data is going to live here, and then all the data is going to be here. We're not going to have arrays of arrays. The second thing is we're not going to do is we're not going to have two indices. So currently we have this kind of entity index, and then we have like a debug geometry. And I think this implies that we're going to have like more or less debug geometry versus each entity, but all I can do is just make every single thing that requires some debug geometry, which is going to just be lights. I can't think of anything else, to be honest, or effects or particles. Maybe, I don't know, I don't exactly know. Maybe particles could be completely different, I don't know. We haven't got to that point yet, but anyway, right now I'm going to say that every single entity is every single debug geometry has has a corresponding something to it, right? This is going to be tricky-ish in the sense that I've just got to be. I have a separate model index, so I really don't see this actually being difficult. So that's the first thing we're going to do is. So the reason I want to simplify everything down, and I've kind of been thinking about this before the stream. I've been trying to do stuff off stream, and the amount of like crap that I'm gonna have to do is just so much more. It's so much more of a spaghetti code if I have this like category system thing. If I want stable IDs with like some kind of indexing into them that's like human readable, this isn't the way to do it. If I want a category of models, for example, or something, a category of entities, then I can just make a separate list, a separate container that contains the indices into a thing, and then track them a little different. Tracking them is going to be a bit tricky if I delete stuff, but I don't need to have the categories like hard-coded. So that was my decision. Because of that, all this can go away, and that's going to break like pretty much everything. And yeah, so we don't need the categories. We don't need array of arrays. Oops, we need an array though. So we do need two separate arrays. Oh, I did it again. We do need two separate arrays here for the rigid bodies updated. It's almost, these are almost the same. I could almost combine these, but so we don't need an array of arrays for these either. So we don't need these categories. So as far as I can tell, we need model index. Okay, we could have... Yeah, we could still have model index and debug index. These are separate, these aren't. I don't need these categories. These aren't the same. These are kind of... Yeah, let's add those in. They're a bit easier. They were actually a good idea. So let's put these back in. So I can actually do it like this now. Duck count. The reason, so these aren't categories as I said. So, so model count. I'll explain that in a minute. So debug geometry, which is going to be separate. That's what I call them, debug models, which is fine. Again, eventually I'm going to make these hard-coded. I think I said that a long time ago now. Hello. Hello, everyone. So each system keeps track of entities if it needs them. Yeah, effectively we're going to have like a system that keeps track of things. Nick Nil. Oh, Nick. Oh, it's H, sorry. So we're going to have these again. Just need a comma. And what else? Okay, so they're fine. We don't want these now. What do we want here? I think we want model entity here. We just don't want the category. Yeah. Right, so get rid of this. This. Okay, so that's simplified things a little bit. Okay, so now originally we had 20. So let's just think about this. How many do we need? What was this? Yeah, 40 entities. Now, if the debug geometry is... Yes, that's fine. So this is total entities now. And this is deleted. And... entity data. We are going to have the same amount as I think. Yes. And the same here. So, as far as I can tell, that's what we need. So here we need Duck and Rock instead. So I'm still going to use this kind of... actually, we can actually help ourselves out here. So this is still kind of useful. So entity models. It's not a category, it's just an array of array. Sorry, it's just a single array. It's just an easier way to refer to them. So it's just the model count here. When we allocate this memory and debug is going to be the same. Okay, so yeah, everything I was trying, like I said, was just getting so complicated because everything was so convoluted. How did you end up organizing it? So what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do is, so we have effectively an entity index that needs to... It's kind of lame, to be honest. I don't really like this solution, but it's going to be simpler once I figured it out. But so we're going to organize this by having an index, and then we subtract one from every index plus the element that we found. So effectively, we have a delete swap that happens, but every single element over a certain size needs to be subtracted by 1 so we don't exceed the element. And that's how we're going to do it. Okay, so duck rock. We don't want the category, that doesn't exist now. And again, yeah, we can do it like this. We can do model index and then like that. Don't want the category anymore. Don't want the category here. Okay, so the next step is to figure out... Okay, so we want model index. Right, so that's done. We don't want this. This is the other thing we're getting rid of. I've really thought about this, so hopefully this works. We don't need any of these. Okay, so do we need a debug model index? So we have a model index for now. Get rid of this. Okay, so IntelliSense is completely broken, but we aren't doing that the same way. We need to do an assignment based on the current entity that we're on, which is that's not right, but we need a number here. I think it's this. Is it still here? I think I need to assign this to 0. I just realized if that's not assigned to 0 by default something, we're just going to be completely breaking everything. So that, okay, so we haven't finished yet. Is that our entity index at that current point? And where's our model index? Yeah. Where's that set? That's the actual model that we go into. Okay, it's here. And that is okay. That's good. Player body. Hello, Kalia. The index then points to an array of components, or so the index points to a it's gonna index into multiple arrays. That index, or is there manage? Is it to manage entities lifetime? No, it's not to manage lifetime. We haven't got a system in place to manage lifetime as of yet. No, I started late because I really had to, welcome by the way. I had to start a bit late because I had to really think about this without, I might be a little less, I don't know what's gonna happen today, but I really had to like really think about what I was doing before I went live, because I needed to make sure that I had a plan. So I might bring these functions back together again. Oops. This is just equal to entity. Now this can all be shallow copied or moved or whatever it wants. Then we have rigid body data. And we don't have a category here. Debug model index. What is no? What gets passed in here? Yeah, my brain is in like super thinky mode, if you know what I'm saying. Sphere, which is always 0. So this needs to be on model index, yes. What do these need to be? Shape, okay. When we actually increment this, what do we do? Have we set the size already? It looks like it. It's always good to have a plan, Z. Indeed. So many failures. I might need the Greek alphabet now. Yes, indeed. So yeah, it's going to be a bit more of a, I believe anyway, chilled out sesh. So I think this just needs to be equal. And that's not model index anymore. That is this fella. Yeah, these need to map 1 to 1. I think yes, it's probably a good idea to bring these together. I don't think there's any need to separate them though, because there's no category difference, which is why I did that in the first place. Okay, so this function just like does not work at all. I don't even know what it's supposed to do. So yeah, so what I'm going to do then is bring these together. And now the question is, do I make 2 entities out of this? No. The same index refers to this and this, so we make 1. As far as I can tell. Yeah. Yeah, okay, so we don't want this. We do want the instance count incremented by 1. We want everything else. Okay. Okay, so we're already simplifying things down, which is nice. Let's put this bit up here and then put the other bit down below. We will need an extra variable, it looks like, but that's fine. Oh. So, get rid of this. So we just need like an extra variable in our arguments and to delete this function. So we just need this variable, so I'm going to copy that. And we're going to put that here. Just tells us what type of thing that we want to draw, which is pretty basic. And what have we got? We need to delete this fella and have this guy for our secondary array of models. So we have 2 arrays of models and they're going to be both indexed into by a unique identifier. And let's just make sure this is all good. Nothing's crazy happening here. Right, okay, cool. I think that's what we want. Each thing gets incremented by 1. And in fact, we don't have to have this minus. We can just set this up here. That's the unique identifier, really. Basically, this thing incrementing by 1. That means it's not tied to any array size, which, you know, I think these are already set to a size anyway, so that would be wrong. It would all have the same ID. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, etc. Okay. Right. Okay, that's much simplified. Fantastic. Okay. Next is this category idea. Okay, so this is pretty basic now. We just go and delete this outer loop, because there's not going to be any difference between these two. Oops. Intelligence don't cry yet. There we go. So models, model index, and debugging. So these, again, to make sure that for each model type, yeah, corridor of time is such a good piece of track. Yeah, see, yeah, VK. If it was in Vulkan, I'd definitely know this. Okay, so we have models, and we need to assign this to the correct model type. Or do we? I think. How do we index into these? So I've got to be careful here that I don't make a mistake. So we need the debug index as well, which is just very simply a sphere right now. Debug. What is it called? Debug sphere, comma. Okay. Okay. Right, that fixes that error. Okay, so here, what? How do we do this? Is it per model now? I don't think it is. We now have one big buffer device address for everything. I don't know if that's a bad thing in the long run, but yeah. Okay, so we need to take this out of here. Yeah, this obviously is per frames in flight still, but it's not per model. That would be too much of an update. So now I've got to figure out exactly where do we want this to live. So much commented out crap here. I'm gonna lazily throw this in here at the bottom, just so it's available. I don't exactly know where it needs to live object lifetime wise, but we always run this function anyway. So now we just need to do this and this. Okay, so now we don't have multiple buffers for everything. Next is to figure out these guys. Alright, so yeah, we don't need to have two arrays. Let me get rid of this. Right. Oh, and what we should do is, instead of having a 2 here, at the very least, we should do this. And I'll come back to that. Leaked Vulkan 2 command. John Vulkan told me personally. I believe you. I mean, he's hit me in the face a couple of times from what I've been doing with Vulkan. Yeah. He seems to like you. John Vulkan. Single-handedly sits there on a typewriter typing up the spec. And everyone just implements what he's done. That's who John Vulkan is, if you don't know. Yeah, he's just like one guy just on a typewriter. And he gets really angry. He turns up to your house if you've done something bad in Vulkan and slaps you around a bit, you know. What's the reason behind naming your channel Escape Points? What are you trying to escape from? I just like the escape key, and I was like, oh, that's funny. I'll just kind of shorten it to the ESC key, because that's the escape key. And yeah, point kind of has a... It's kind of like it's not even a pun, it's just kind of like two kind of things that kind of go together. Kind of. Like, I could have called myself anything points, like waypoint or something like that. But yeah, there we go. There's no real deep meaning. I wish there was. He shot me once for my first descriptor set management system. Yeah, I'm trying to escape from my code. Yeah, there we go. That's it. There we go. We could say that. So for now, I'm just going to kind of figure it. I'm not exactly sure. So we do lose some transparency into what we end up deleting, but I don't really mind. So at the very least, I'm just going to do this like this and like this. We don't have a debug model anymore, and this is just called duck. And when we do a delete swap on this fella, we just do a straight delete swap, and we do it with the entity index if we're going to do it at all. And we're only going to do one delete swap. Right, okay, so this is the lame part of the algorithm, which I don't really know how to get around. So for each entity type, we subtract one from it if it's over a particular size, so we don't end up with an index overflow using this index here. And we don't have a debug thingy. And as far as I can tell, that's everything. We don't have another category to worry about. Okay, so that was like my main motivation, honestly, was to get that done. Delete this, delete this. And then we can start going insane again with trying to delete things. But yeah, simplifying first. So the next step is to get rid of this outer for loop. We shouldn't have this anymore. And right, so no categories. Let's tap this over. Okay, cool. And do this, this. Okay, so the entity index is still coming out of here. Very nice. And so now, if we want this positional index, we go through a global namespace for it. Model type still exists exactly the same way, except now we copy the whole thing over. The only thing that's different per frame is what we access here. And yes, we don't do it inside this submesh, because it's only positional data, which is actually a small saving in efficiency. Okay, so now we delete this fella and delete this. Yeah, you should have seen me earlier. I was like lying on the floor trying to figure this all out. I don't know if you ever had that as a programmer, trying to figure out this system thing, where you kind of go, not insane, but just like you just start being a bit of a weirdo, because you're just like, I need to move to a different location for my brain to work again. Yeah, and my so there we go. Oh, we've missed something. Ah, right, yes. It's like maybe if I go over here, the planets will align and everything will work. Okay, so I think IntelliSense is kind of crying now because we've done that. I prefer to argue with my wall. Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I pretend to be my teacher and explain to my student. There we go. We're all there. We can all relate to some level. Hello, Nilomation. How are you doing today? Yeah, pretty good. A bit more chilled out today. And which is cool. Okay, so this doesn't exist now. I guess we could make it an invalid buffer, perhaps. It doesn't really matter. What else is... Yes, so... Oh, we do need to destroy the buffer. That's a good point. Okay, thank you. Good job. So, let's... Where shall I put this? I'll put this in scene, the end of scene, when we're destroying scene. Kind of like this. Just simplifying your entity system, right? Yeah, 100%. It's got too complicated. I've added like features to it without getting it working, thinking that it would simplify my problem, and it's just ballooned into a big mess. And the thing I'm trying to do is quite simple, and I think I've not cracked it, but I think I'm at the very least. Yeah, let's get rid of all this as well. That's the delete swap I was trying to do instead of just a regular swap rather than a delete swap. And the key insight was that I don't need every piece of debug geometry that's going to be put in the scene is going to be an entity as well. There isn't going to be any separation between the two, which means when I actually start messing around with their values based on position or something, I can just use the same index to index into the other piece of debug, the other positional data buffer device address, instead of having two indices that are kind of hard to track and hard to keep together, because it's very easy to end up deleting this, like the sphere, and then not deleting the duck and then stuff like that. But they're going to have the same value. So, for example, if I create a duck, then the same entity index is going to be to that debug geometry as well. But we're just going to render it different. We're just going to they're going to have the same position data that gets changed. So it's almost enough to simplify this down to one buffer device address, but that might come later. Yeah, I'm just in it. That's it, Maddo. Yeah, that's exactly why. Now, I am going to be still doing that, but we've got to... Let's see. I think if I can build now. I think we've removed plenty of lines of code. Unidentified. Oh. Model. Huh. Why is this here? I thought I removed it. Alright. Let's build again. Yeah, there's a lot to simulate with ducks as well as ducks, exactly. So we've got to have thousands of billions of things to simulate. A few of those will be planet, the rest will be ducks, because that's how space works. Right, okay, so let's just see if what I've written or removed is correct. God. Are we still good? Are we still good? Okay, cool. Right, I was just checking sure you're still guys here. And what did we get wrong here? Yeah, seems about right. When you change something, you end up crashing the graphics card. Yeah, that's a very much a you crash the graphics card type error. Okay. Let's be careful then. because I don't want to lose the stream, which is very easy to do. But just keep rerunning this code over and over again. So let's think about what I've done. So I think this is to do with buffers. If you mess it up like this, you typically, it's nothing to do with the entity system that we've just messed with. It's the only thing that we. Oh yeah, don't need this twice. Oops. So let's try and figure out exactly why we crashed the graphics card. Well, the device got lost and then got recovered, thankfully. So my first question is, did we create the buffers that we end up using? Because that often is a big giveaway. So when we build positional buffers, this has data in and stuff. That's what I've got to check, I guess. Let's see. Okay. Let's check if these are created. Cool. Size seems reasonable. Because I don't know how big this is. This will be 40 times by whatever this is. Okay, I can't do this by debugging. So I can't do. Yeah. Okay, so that's actually the correct size. There's nothing weird going on. We should have incremented this 40 times. Yeah, total number of entities. We run this code. Fantastic. For each piece of data we throw in like this. What we could do is do this a little differently, just to make sure the data is actually coming through. It's not that much of a change, but right. I mean, it saves a line of code, I guess, as well. Not that it matters, but that would be better for pushback. And I kind of like this version better. But these are the important ones, where these are actual data. It's very important that these have the same. Nothing. I can't afford to have this kind of go weird. Okay. Okay, we are done with that. So when we do a... Yeah, let's leave this here for now. And we're going to scroll down to... where's the first write? Which is what I'm looking for. Entity index. Yeah, this thing. Right, okay, so we got a good amount of breakpoints. Yeah, they seem to be correct as far as I can tell. Yeah, rigid body data. Okay. So is it this? Okay, so I'm gonna unfortunately have to try and just guess based on... so what I'm gonna do is very simply change this to false. And the skybox shouldn't do anything, but we're not going to have any debug geometry. Let's just see. So I might end up losing stream now. Let's just hope. Yeah. Fences in use. Let's just check. I don't know if it tells me actually if we end up losing stream. Live. Okay. That's just making sure you guys are still around. I can see myself. Okay, great. And that happened on submission, but it happened in the... So what I'm going to do next is... We're not going to do an index draw call. Very simple. So we shouldn't render anything and it should work. I doubt this will break, but I need to know otherwise. Okay, cool. Yeah, everything's still running. And we are freeing the memory correctly. Very good. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is an index draw call without writing to memory. So my question is, do I need to do this per model? I don't think I do. I think that might be part of the problem here. Yeah, I'm starting to think that this can be moved out. Because there's no category anymore, so there's no multiple buffers to write out to. We just end up editing this guy here. So yes, I think this is better. So what I'm going to do then is see when we do this right. We're going to remove the right. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to respond. I think it should be fine. No, interesting. Sorry about that. Again, I'm going to check the stream. Let's make sure that our stream is not going to die. Stream health I should really go to, shouldn't I? Okay, cool. Rather than the viewer stat thing. I don't have a second monitor, so I can't hide it. I can't hide my my setup. Alright, so the next question is... Oh yeah, submesh, hang on. Oh no, this is fine, this is fine, this is something else. So, comment that out and add this back in. We have a push constant, yeah, we're writing to that at a different point. Okay. And we do that per frames in flight, yes. And next is to figure out why this doesn't work. Because there is nothing really going on here. Right, so the very simplest thing I can do is remove the draw call. And see if that nukes everything. Okay, so it's the draw call itself. Okay. Which doesn't really, unfortunately, doesn't tell me much. It's possible that we got a silly value here or something. You know, like what is this value? I mean, I could watch this, but doesn't really matter. $20 0. Does it break on submission or did we lose? No, we just haven't drawn yet. Okay, so that makes sense. 20 there. So we have 2. We should have 2 draw calls. Yeah, okay, so we skip the first for loop because there's nothing there. Blah, 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 blah. The value is 20. So we have another draw call. And this is model index type of 1. Yes. Makes total sense. And we should be skipping this. Yes. Skybox. We've already seen this work, so I don't have to step through this. It is weird that I'm clearly a buffer. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you, man. Hope you're having a great day. So we have a buffer here that's not playing ball. And is it because it's created too late? Let me just check, go inside, and what we're going to look for is just any silliness. Okay, so that has been a mistake forever. Or just a debug thing that I should have removed. I don't think that's going to change anything though. That's just going to make things faster if it was to work. Okay, so the question is, when I initialize the scene, can I just lazily make the invalid handle so we guard against it not being allocated? No, it gets allocated there. I don't need to do that. We might have a buffer out of bounds read. Let's I'm just going to assume that we haven't lost the stream again. Yeah. Okay, I think we're hopefully we're still on the same stream. The encoder did die. So no data, then right. So yeah, let me know if everyone's still on the stream. With the graphics card crashed a bit harder that time. If you're alright, no one has to obviously, but it looks like we had a cutout. Seems to be healthy. I've restarted everything, but I don't know if it started a new stream. I hope not. But anyway, let's turn on the synchronization. I thought it's already on, but this will be like a silly mistake, a simple mistake even. And okay, let's think about this for a bit longer. I don't know if that's not needed either. I don't think I've ever used that. Okay, let's go through everything one by one. Okay, yeah, some operator stuff. Because what I'm tempted to do is kind of not git stash everything, because this is an error that I don't really care about, but at the same time there is stuff in here I do want to keep. So let me think, how do I go about this? I think we can still be in the Okay, so we got alligator names set up. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is maybe doing this. Okay, yeah, so what I'm going to do is just for the sanity of this stream, I'm going to take out a couple of files and then we're going to kind of rearrange these back in. So yes, we're going to take. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is a tarball, the original source control, because I want to have this nearby, so I'm going to copy this out. Now, okay, let me be a bit careful here. So everything other than assets is going to go in a source directory. Oh, there's another one here already. Interesting. Okay, so this is an old. I think I can safely get rid of this. Alright, cool. And what we're going to do is close our project. And we're going to go into here, git stash, and then do a project build. And oh, I thought I closed you. Yeah, don't save. Let's do that again. So, why am I doing this? Everything's kind of busted, so I'm just like, all right, let's just start again. I kind of went too far. I know what I want to do. I'm going to kind of copy stuff back in that I actually want to keep. There's stuff I don't want to keep. So we should have a building non-GPU crashing, because I can't really afford to have the GPU crash over and over again. Yeah. Yeah, so it's live. It's still, I think, yeah, okay, it's still live. I feel like we're on a different stream for some reason, but anyway. Yes, we got a lot of stuff that now doesn't exist. Alright, so we should... Oh. It's kept the new files around. Well, at least the new shader. Anyway, let's build this. And what I can do actually is I can take some of the changes out of master, because we have some changes in master from Linux. And get up. I'm just going to go back to my branch. And so, yeah, like I said, I always say this in the stream, but what did I end up committing? Yeah, nothing interesting. I thought I committed something useful. Just everything in vendor code, which I don't care about. Right, okay, so let's have this run. And we might get music, so be prepared for that. Yeah, okay, so there's a lot of things I need to change. So So the first thing I want to do is throw back in the, yeah, this guy. I think these are the same. Yeah, so the simplest thing I should do is, alright, so frames in flight is kind of stuck here. This is going to be 2 in GPU resources. Const expert UN32 frames in flight equal to. Right, okay, so first thing to do is build so I can see all the errors that I've caused from doing that, and second is to, for these two, there needs to be 2 of them. Alright, so let's fix the errors first. Quite straightforward. Let me guess, I didn't call it frames in flight, I call it frame in flight like I always end up doing. GPU resource. Yep, I always forget the S. In life. Okay, so go back to main. I'm going to put this into a for loop now. And before we do that, we need to make frames in flight. Alright, cool. UN32, I is equal to this, blah blah blah, frames in flight, not in brackets. Plus I. And I. Nope. There we go. And done that. Now we need to do based on GPU.current frame. Cool. And do the same for you. Next thing to do is fix the horrendous bug. So we have a bug that we need to fix as well, just like straight off the bat. Uint 32i is less than Nope. Okay. Frames in flight. So it's all just kind of living here. Let me just restart the music shortly. Which is good. Throw that in there. Okay. Okay, next is... Okay, that's just a IntelliSense not working. The next bug I need to fix is this very naughty thing I'm doing with the player. Okay, so I'm also doing that. I need to not do this. Yeah, this was a big mistake that I made. This will just make things never work properly. I can't do this. Not allowed. Actually, I'm going to uncomment this for now and then remove it. So you can't do this in Vulkan. This is not allowed. This is a bug I introduced by accident. Jeez, I didn't realize I didn't commit this. This is a fundamental bug. I'm going to commit this straight after, I think. Assuming I don't get GPU crashes. So if I actually want to update the position, we need to not make a new array from scratch. That's not allowed. You have to modify the original buffer that you used. And that is for Oz entity data. For this stuff. And This is just going to be entity data current. Okay, so this is going to be entity index. You're in 32. Entity index is equal to this guy. Dot index, whatever. Position index, I guess. So yeah, we don't want this. Oh. Okay, so it's just called positional index for now. That's fine. And this is going to go in here. This is allowed. This is valid. This is not. So we're just going to do the same deal. Okay. And because of that, we actually don't need this line. We did originally because it was kind of a mess. We don't need the free marker either. So there shouldn't be a marker here. Yeah, get rid of that. And we just need to make sure that our... I mean, we don't really need to make sure this isn't... It's kind of redundant because we wouldn't have been able to make a... Yeah, so I'm not gonna check if it's null or not, because we wouldn't have been able to get this far if it was null. We can guarantee that's not null, so we don't need an extra if statement here. And next is to remove the instance counting logic that I had. Just kind of... do I need this now? Oh, I do actually. Huh. But anyway, I didn't think of that. Yes, now we need the other thing. So what I'm going to do is commit this immediately. Because at the very least we need this. Fixed, because the rest... It's an undefined behavior, I think. So fortunately, now we're doing something sensible. We can get rid of this. Let's just pause. Oh, restart the music. What is this called? Oh, it is position. Okay. Why? Oh, duh. Okay. So we also need to do the same deal here. I don't know why I did that. It's kind of not helpful. Entity index equals entity dot position index, I guess. It's more than just position, but it's fine. Well, it will be anyway. So that's going to be renamed at some point. But for now, let's just... Oh, wrong. Need all these. And that you can't do this. This is illegal. Well, you can. It's just extremely terrible. And this is just assigning the same values. Where is this? This shouldn't exist now. Get rid of the D marker as well. And oops. No, as far as I can tell, this is basically done. All right, so yes, doing that. Let's build that. So yeah, I should have committed ages ago. I feel like I did commit that, but clearly didn't. All right, so let's see. Alright, cool. So I'm gonna commit that to my GitHub. Git status, git add, git commit. Some unused 2D shaders are present, plus fixed the CPU buffer bug. That's crazy that was never actually committed, because that was a huge issue. Alright, so we've done that. Next is to recreate the deletion code, and we should be good from there. What have you been cooking? I just refixed the buffer deletion bug. Sorry, I had one CPU buffer, a CPU side buffer that was updated every single frame. So I've just fixed that. We're trying to make a little space game, so I'm trying to delete things now. So we're gonna go into my favorite version control system, copying and pasting code. We all know that's the most sophisticated Chad version of version control. Right, so what do I want to do first? I probably want to steal my code when it came to deleting things, and it was here. So I'm going to throw that in main, and that's going to inform what we're going to be doing. I'm going to close this as the temporary project for debugging. Alright. So where are our... That's fine, yeah. We can stick it here. So it's not rigid body data. What is it called in the past? What did I call it? Debug buffer renderer. Probably it's a bad name still. Both are bad names. I'm just gonna debug data. No, I've got an idea. Let's call it debug entity data, right? Close to being the same thing, so throw that in there, get this in here. Replace, and that should do us good. And we still have stuff to fix. Yeah, let's call this capital. Still doesn't exist, so rename this. Not render data, but debug data will be a lot nicer, because that's exactly what it is. And here we have the same deal. And we need to go into scene, I think. Or somewhere, at the very least. Yep. So find. Yep. Cool. And we should be good. Yo, Shadow. I started coding in C++. It is way more fun than I thought. Fantastic. I hope you enjoy your C++ journey. Okay, so our arrays don't work. Let's see. Yep, it's very simple. And we should build... Oh. Of course, we have lots more stuff to work on. So element doesn't exist, so we need this back. This is just a demo. We're trying to be element 0. And Entity models doesn't exist. Right, so what was I doing here was this terribleness, which I need to extract out. Let's open up scene and steal some more code in game. So it's not that complicated. It's just going to take some enums instead. Throw them up here. And now we're not going to use these guys because they're kind of awkward to work with. You know, keeping track of numbers instead of like an enum that kind of increments by 1. Alright, so now we need to do model. What did I call this? So entity models, that's fine. Entity models, and this is the rock, so I've got to be careful here. So at least this gives us some, like a little bit more clear indication of what's going on here. Nope. Debug models. And this is a sphere. And here we have, so instead of that, we're going to go with duck, goose. And rock. And we're going to go with sphere. So I might commit this as well, because this is just like a general little refactor. But maybe not, I don't know. The other, yeah, I'm going to call this entity index, because it's a bit more, it's not a position really. So entity index, I'm going to call that. So this is the next thing we're going to change is, instead of positional index, we're going to go into here, change this to entity index. Very exciting. And I'm just going to go, and that should be good. Next is instance count. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to change because it's kind of clumsy. Is instead of count of whatever, we have instance count. Copy that. It's a bit easier to deal with. So let's see. Oops. No, that's correct. Okay. No. And next. Damn, seeing code wants to make me code. Now, I feel the same way when I watch other people too. So this is debug entity data. Yep. Okay, cool. Fantastic. Now, when I go into scene, we've got to change a couple of things. Could we change the names? Which I don't think is that. Oh, I didn't add this. Model debug models sphere. Okay, fantastic. So, alright. And we want the entity index. And here we want instance count. That's what it is. Cool. And that should be exactly the same. What have we got? Nice. It should all delete fine. Okay. Now, when I delete something from the thing, it should just all completely collapse and die. You know what? Let's just see how this works. As far as I can tell, this is kind of what we need to do to begin with. Yep. Okay. How long have you been writing C++? I'm about to start my career in C++ in a couple of weeks. Ah, nice. Been waiting for the joining letter. I've been programming on and off since 2011. And then I kind of started to take it seriously in 2017. But ever since then, I've added more and more programming time, if that makes sense. As I've got better, I've actually coded more and more. Right, so this is interesting. Ah, okay, so we can't use that. That's obvious. And so instead of total C, yeah. So this was like a minor gripe that I had with the last time I used this. And this. So if total entities, does a total entity exist anywhere? No. Okay, cool. So let's see. Yeah, it's you could definitely do better than me in C++ very quickly. Okay, and that seems good. We delete the player, which is the first element. Unfortunately, now it's impossible to figure out. Now we can't move anything. Okay, that's cool. Let's do a instead of element 0. Now I've got to recreate the debug scene that I had earlier. Let's see, what do I want to do here? This is still really nice. I kind of like this. The only thing I really need to do, let's think. Let's change the song. I feel like we're on an extended version. Here we are. So I do have some demo scene stuff which is easier to deal with. But for now, what I'm gonna do is commit this code as well. You know, at the very least, it seems to work, which tentatively saying, because we haven't actually tested it. So. Work in progress, deletion, function. I just almost want to put this in brackets here. This is not really a function. Functionality has been added. We have renamed things a little. And yeah, don't need to say and we are good. Anyway, right, so give that a push. Fantastic. That's another commit in. Next, we need to build a demo scene. So our demo scene in scene here is a bit. That's scene.h. So we need my original source code where I'm pulling things from. And yeah, so. There's a lot of commented out stuff here, but at the very least what this does is it generates a very simple everything in a line type situation. So I'm going to steal this for loop. And should I make a new like debug scene or something? I don't know. It's just like Maybe I do want to save that. So build debug scene. So again, we're just gonna have the same old stuff in. Okay. So this is just to avoid us commenting out everything and messing with stuff that kind of works and then breaking it in the future. You know how it goes if you're a programmer. Build. Debug scene. And we need the physics object. That should be good. Paste that in. So we are. What we can do now is, instead of having a load of commented out code floating around, we can do this and get rid of this entity category thing. We're never ever doing that again. Yes, everything will be rotated in exactly the same way, and yeah, that's pretty much everything as far as I could tell. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Just checking everything's good. So in main now, I can go to my scene. Okay. And instead of build scene, we're going to comment this out because this is the one I don't want. And we're just going to do the build debug scene. Now, ideally, we would be able to switch between the two or something like that at runtime, but I don't know. This is at least a little cleaner than what I was doing before, with a bunch of commented out code that, which was eventually breaking anyway. So this should put everything in a line. Oh, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. This might just blow up. Oh, that's true. So I need to also remove. So currently I have a player camera activated. I need to not have the player camera used, because we are tied to the first element, and the first element cannot move now because I've set it to not move, meaning that we get the same thing. Anyway. So where is my... I can get rid of this as well. This is never used. Alright, so we have this. And a demo scene should be good. So the thing I noticed, there was a bug. Right, okay, so debug, is there a debug model index? Do we need these two? Yeah, we have debug renderer. One of these we decided to get rid of. We don't need shape. We can look at my scene.h and see how that was shaping up. So we decided that we only needed a model index and an entity index, which is fine. So we actually don't need these two. And let's see what we can do with that. That does tell me that we did originally have these guys. Right, so this tells me if it's static, I believe. And what is this for? It's just for the scene. And okay, so we only have to deal with this. Now, question mark is, what did I think that I needed in main at the time? I said that. I just checked if the body's valid. Yeah, that's much better. That's a much better solution than doing that, which is good, because I didn't ever need to do this. Oh, and let's go for this. So if this is equal to false, that's actually what I need to say. I'm very explicit with my what is it called? My false and true conditions when it comes to booleans. I personally believe that although it's more verbose, it's easier to read than an exclamation mark. But you know, that's just a preference. And here we are. What do we do for that? We just got the body from the entity. Fantastic. Which is much cleaner than that, what I was doing before. So now the scene code needs to be updated based on what I've just done. Yeah, so we don't need this. Last current index. These are going to be mapped to the same thing. Debug entity and debug, and these are going to have all the same deal. We are not going to have this anymore. We don't want this. Because we never, I don't think we even use it, so simplify, simplify, simplify. So we need to initialize this to 0, otherwise in release we could get some weird results. Delete this, remove this, and we shall see how that has affected things. That could have broken everything on the planet, but oh, I already assigned it to 0. Very good. Might as well do it in one place though. If I'm doing it in the header, just do it there. That just means, for those who don't know about C++, the default constructor that the compiler provides will assign them to a value for you. So it's a preference thing. But you have to use a newer version of C++, like C++ 14 or something. It's not that new now, but you know, if you're working in a company that uses C++ 11 or less, then I don't think it's that possible. Apart from booleans, it's a very strange restriction. Anyway, ramble over. Let's see how that did things. No compilation errors. So does everything blow up? No, fantastic. And we should be able to move our camera. And that is good. We only have one dock though, that's bad. Okay, so okay, that's a very slow camera. How are you coding all these things without any references or AI assistance? So I study a lot off stream. So that's how long I've been going on stream coding. That's how long I've been going off stream. So I've already done like 4 hours of stuff, and so there's a lot of prep that I end up doing. The second question is experience. I don't really need as much AI as much people. I will never well, I'm pretty stubborn with AI. I won't compromise, so I will just get better as a programmer. For me, my answer is if I need AI or if I feel like I'm struggling, it's a skill issue. And I should just try and get better as a programmer. Yeah, but you'll get there if you're new and you're going into C++ and stuff. You'll find that the promise of needing AI is not as to code is not as important if you're just cracked already. Not that I'm cracked, but yeah. Hopefully you get what I'm picking up. You get what I'm putting down even. So what do we need to do to have... So for some reason we aren't getting anything rendered more than once. Oh, we're not adding to them. We're not adding anything. Yep, that's how everyone's done things forever. That's very true. So I wasn't adding all my bodies that I created to the physics engine, which would cause everything to be, I think, in one place. So let's have a look. How does that look? Okay, so an error has occurred. And I think it's likely because this has not been... is this not created? What haven't I done? Let's look at my old code. So there's clearly something I've missed. Right, okay, so bunch of sphere setting up logic, which I haven't done, which is quite easy to miss. So yeah, that's what I want. So bunch of sphere logic. As far as I can tell, these were all on the stack of the actual function. Yeah. Alright. So now when we actually do this, which I believe is ran in... Where are these actually incremented? Oh, right, okay. So, yes, the physics engine is actually filling up this array, I think. As far as I can tell. Add bodies prepared. Surprised there isn't a... Ah, there it is, okay. Yes, that's what I was hoping for. We just add these to the array. Okay, another error, which is fine. Oh, it's at the runtime now, so this is a different error. Instead of loading, we have... let's see. What did it say? It said something. An error has occurred. Okay, so updating during the physics update. See this for more information. It's possible that my amount of physics objects are incorrect or something. Ah, right. Also, I need to... I've just realized something. This is a minor thing, but it might be causing issues. When I'm doing a debug scene, I need to actually set the size for this particular debug scene anyway. We only want 40 things instead of 444, which is used for like a bigger scene. We want 40, right? So that's going to change things. I think we're still going to get the same error, but I want to just see if we... what the error might be. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. And he's flying around. Okay, so he has the player logic, which I don't want. So that was the issue. So I don't want him to move. So when do I decide he's the player? So is player. That's an argument. And I assume always say false, but here we have... So I'm just going to absolutely make sure we're not creating anything here that we don't want. And next is to... Alright, so I'm just going to run that real quick. Stop it immediately if we don't get a breakpoint. Okay. Sanity check over. Right, we need to think about this a bit. Why is the player moving? Right, let me look at my main code. It's probably... there's probably something off here. It's probably updating its position when it shouldn't be. I know why. This is very simple. Just realized. Yes, I'm updating the player. I do not want to update the player right now. I just want to keep him the same as everything else. That should basically do the same as everything else. Oh, I can actually delete that line. Just realized. Yes, that's good. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is disable all the lighting. So, yeah, right now there's like physically based rendering happening, and it's making everything really, really dark because everything's dark and I need to be able to see. So this is my physically based rendering solution. Not the best, I have to admit. but that's fine. Because, you know, the game is not done. And... right. So we should... ah, okay, there we go. Okay, so that's what's happened. We have things rendered incorrectly. This jolts to the wrong place as well, so we're getting there. Now we can at least see things from a faraway distance. We need to do things a little differently. So the first thing I can delete is this line of code here, and that is fine. And I'm also just going to go into the audio, just disable the audio. I mean, it's a great song, but let's see, is there an audio play or something? No, I think I just... yeah, okay, so start looping. We can turn these off for a minute. So now if I build on that. Okay, so I delete element 0. We get a new crash, which is good because this is what we need to be debugging. Entity blah 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 blah. That is because... did I press it twice? I don't want to press it twice. I want to delete one thing. But that suggests that we have a subtraction on 0. And I believe, as far as I can tell, this should be a larger number. Let's try this. This should be like not... okay, 0. We should have deleted 0. So when we come around here... yeah. Okay, and... okay, I also... yeah, let me... okay, so I've made things a bit awkward here. I just realized. The... plus 40... I said equals 40 in the wrong place, really. I need to put this further up. This is for a debug scene, though. This isn't ideal, but these arrays are too big. Yes, F's indeed. But that's good. I need to keep testing this. So this is why we simplified things. Okay, there we go. So that at least fixes that one thing that we had earlier. And we should get a crash again. Oh no, we shouldn't. This is just a breakpoint. So what was this? 0. We reduce the instance counts. Very nice. We delete swap. So now we have 39, 39, 39. If this is larger or equal. Okay, so I think that is the case. That's the thing I need to get right. I think that's the only logic I got wrong there. Let's just fire away. Okay, so... oh, where are we? Good, okay. We deleted... what did we delete? We did something a bit strange there. Let's try that again. Yo, bro. Are you reading chat? Yes. Okay, so I think what I deleted is every other... okay. Now... did I just moved everything, that's the problem. Yeah, so if you want to ask questions about what I'm doing, feel free, or want me to explain something, I will. Which game are you making? I'm making like a little space game, so I don't know, the genre would be space. Typing to Trying to speed up my allocation, but damn, custom allocations got hands. Yes, they do. Can I know the concept? Yeah, it's just a little arcadey 3D asteroid type thing. It's not going to be that complicated. It's going to be a bit of a vertical slice of a game. It should be available for you to play at some point. I'll let you know. If you want to join the Discord, you can keep up to date on that if you want specific. How much time did it take you to learn your C++? I don't really know how long it's taken total. I can share this, I guess, if you want, if you're interested. I am just going to my email, which I don't think anyone's that interested in emailing me. So let's go to Drive. So currently I've counted 2,030 hours and 7 minutes and 14 seconds. But I've done more than that over my programming time. But that can give you an idea of like I've been tracking that for about over a year. About a year and a half now. But anyway. Yeah, I thought I'd show you that. That's just not C++ though, that's also like you know, Vulkan, stuff like that. I know a couple of languages, but I don't know them that well. Like I programmed at my old job a bunch of Python. I mean, but Python's not hard to learn. It's pretty straightforward. Once you know one language well, it's kind of easy to transfer to another language. Oh, I know CMake. I don't know if you count that as a language. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, keep on with keeping on with Python. So I don't really understand why we're deleting. So what I'm going to try is removing this and this. Let's see. Now we might get a buffer write overflow. Type exclamation Discord and it should pop up. Yes. Let's see if the Nightbot's there. Yes, there you go. Thank you. Nope. That still did interesting things. Never seen this book before. Right. So now we're caught up. What did I do with my for loops originally? Yeah, no problem. Yeah, if anyone wants to join, just CMake counts as a pain in the ass. That's a good one. That's very true. My CMake is I always make it as simple as possible. For that reason. Yeah, managing build systems across operating systems is annoying. Right, let's see. So there's something I did in scene that I need to remember what I did. I did something that stopped the interleaving. So currently, right now, we are seeing the demo scene set up like this. Let me explain. And you see, like, we have a lot of rubber ducks in a row. We should be seeing a a duck, then a rock, then a duck, then a rock, like that. So I'm just going to try and figure out why the buffers are behaving that particular way. And I believe I did something in the actual scene creation code that changed how this functions. Yeah, free CMake tip, don't use. Yeah, it's one of them. I don't mind it, but it's tough. It's tough. Moving layer. What do I want to do? I've got to be careful here. So in theory this should be non-moving, moving, non-moving, moving, non-moving, moving, like that. And it currently is... The position is correct. But yeah, I need to go into render doc actually. And have a look at what that output is. Right, so for those who don't know anything about RenderDoc, it is a tool that allows you to debug your graphics. It's extremely powerful. The more I've learned about RenderDoc, the more impressed I am by the software itself. It's not a silver bullet, but it's it pretty much helps with everything, as far as I can tell. And yes, if you're interested in graphics, it's definitely a tool that's worth spending a bit of time learning. In my humble opinion. Oh, that's true. We also need to... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Oh, we'll do that in a minute. Allocations are... I haven't set the names for all the things again, but we can come back to that. But, yeah, what I did there is I just disabled all the debugging. Quick RenderDoc tip, I guess, while we're compiling. You can't have your validation layers turned on. I don't know how relevant that is for the people, because some viewers we have like are extremely good at graphics programming, and some people are just starting to learn programming. So I don't know if I hit anyone there with that particular piece of knowledge with any use. All right, cool, fantastico. This is RenderDoc, and gonna launch. No, so let me just capture a frame. Let's actually, before we capture, let's move to the middle. Kind of zoom in like this. I'm gonna capture that frame. Close that, and now we get to see what our individual things we're doing. And let's have a look at our buffers. So we need to go into our pipeline stage, push constants here, and okay, so that's not good as far as I can tell. So that's the rock, and okay, so it looks to me that yes, right. So I need to fix this. So what's happening here is I'll just explain this quickly. That I wonder if that's really close to 0. That might not be an issue. I would have to look at that. That could be a really close number to 0. Sometimes the computers can spit out values that look scary, but when you actually put that in a calculator, it's basically 0. But anyway, like it's an extremely small number, I think, by the looks of things. Extremely small. So yeah, I think it's just a really small. Anyway, so we've got the same buffer for everything, which is great. So I need to reorganize my scene a little bit to fix this. Because I do want one big buffer device address buffer. to index into. But we've got to have the positions change based on things. So yeah, I will give you... If I open up a tutorial or something, I will link, well, use my bot to give you my Discord link. Yes, thank you guys. We've committed a couple of things. We've simplified our engine down. I have an idea of what I need to do next, but I'm gonna have to leave it here, guys, because it is 5 o'clock for me. Sorry about the late start. It was kind of tricky to solve all this. I had to do a lot more prep than usual. But yeah, I feel like we've made progress. It's not a huge amount of progress, but it is something, which is great. So yeah, I will see you all, guys, shortly. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and yes, thank you for anyone who's already subscribed or is subscribed, who's liked the video, liked the live stream, and thank you for commenting, guys, and keeping me company. So yeah, I will see you all soon. Thank you.